Hello everybody, it's the Historical Gamer once again, and today we're returning to Strategic Command World War I, the newest game out by Fury Software, and a game that allows you to play through World War I in 2-week turn increments as either the Entente or the Central Powers. This is episode number 15 of our series, and in this series we've been playing as the Entente and doing fairly well. Recently, Romania joined the war on our side. The Russians are counterattacking deep into Austro-Hungary, and we're really trying to break out into the heart of Austro-Hungary so that we can, win a decisive victory in the war at this point. With that being said, it is the winter, or we're going into the winter of 1915, and so the bad weather will slow our offensive down. We haven't researched tank technology or anything like that yet, or we have, but we haven't built any tanks yet. And so our ability to kind of drive rapidly in any sort of offensive movement is going to be called into a bit of question. The situation, however, on the eastern and western fronts is pretty good. It's mainly the Germans that are sort of holding the Central Powers up, and Italy hasn't joined the war on their side. I messed around with a couple of scripts in the settings, and I thought Italy was going to join the war, but it looks like she may not. In any event, I'm going to go ahead and turn this back over to my live stream myself. This was taken from a live stream on my Twitch channel, and I hope you guys enjoy. 1915. Germany, I would highly recommend against the continued use of unrestricted submarine warfare unless you really want the United States to join us. Meanwhile, fighting erupts between royalist and venalist Greek forces. Ottoman troops' morale falls because of the revolt. Sharif Hussein denounces the Ottomans for having rejected God's word. Fatwas are issued against Sharif Hussein as the Pan-Indian Muslim League condemns the Arab Rising. German morale falls below 50%. Nice. British infantry weapons development, so we can upgrade the British troops there to level 1 now. I would argue almost every turn-based war game's fundamental problem is the way they model naval combat. War in the Pacific being the one exception, and the only reason that works is turns are 1 day, so you have an easier time of modeling it, I think. I think the challenge with naval warfare in any turn-based game is the difficulty in modeling time and the way that naval actions occur in a much more compressed time frame than land combat occurs. Because in land combat, if two divisions are fighting, they don't just die in 1 day. At least in terms of modern warfare, right? Like when you go back to Napoleonics, it's a little bit different. Like if they tried to model, if this game was like, we'll do everything the same and we'll be a Napoleonic war game, that wouldn't really work. Because that's not, Napoleonic battles are fought over the course of 1, 2, maybe 3 days. Naval battles are an even shorter period, and things happen in a split second. You could have a magazine detonation or something like that. And these kind of games are much more predicated on the concept of gradually wearing your opponent down in attrition warfare than they are on anything that occurs rapidly. All right, so the British troops near Bologna are almost destroyed. That Russian corps near Grosswarden is destroyed. The Austrians are launching a counterattack south from Kosi. Interesting. Serbian cavalry division probably would get destroyed there, or just retreat. So the AI is getting aggressive on the eastern front. Interesting. I mean, outside of the German units. Meanwhile, a supply line's brought back to those cut-off German troops. Oh, fuck. The Austro-Hungarians got real aggressive out of nowhere. More opportunities to destroy some of their units, maybe, though. The Problem is that area I'm advancing in, the logistics there are just disastrous. I don't have good supply lines in there. Hevel, thank you very much for the follow. Appreciate it, dude. By the way, we are just 7 subs away from opening up a new emote slot. I'm at 43 subs, and I need to get to 50 for it. That'd be pretty cool. I don't know what if I get another emote though. I don't know what it would be. Like, I'm not sure what I would do. Can you do nuclear war emotes? German morale's boosted by the use of unrestricted submarine warfare. But is it really? U.S. continues to protest the use of Oh, young thuggers. Seriously, dude. Thanks. You really didn't need to do that. 7 gifted subs from young thuggers. Way too generous, sir. You gave 5 the other day. But we're at 50 now. So huzzah to that. What do you want the new emote to be? I don't even know. Alright, so we lost a light cruiser, and the Russians lost a core, and the Montenegro detachment was destroyed. Meanwhile, we impacted 8 of the enemy income with our subs against Sweden's trade. Alright, so Young Thuggers, you gave a sub to Captain Failure, Bottles 444, Banjax 1205, SEO Ataki, Wix 60, Carfala Groff, and Mexicans. Very generous, sir. Are you in the Discord, Young? I can't remember if you're in the Discord or not. Alright, so all these guys are at 1. Do that. 1 to 3. Ha! Yeah, advance against my upgraded troops there, Austria. I mean, my own troops are kind of stuck in a difficult position. But I think I can make that better. God, I wish I could get there. I can't reach them. All right. Alright, so we shattered that Austro-Hungarian detachment. These guys are launching a pretty damn strong counterattack toward Novosad. Let's reinforce these guys to full strength. So the Romanians can't be upgraded. Oh, actually, can they? No, those are Serbians. They can be upgraded. Their infantry tech can be upgraded. Nice. Alright. Let's do this. Let's move these guys north. Shift these guys south into this. We're going to go ahead and upgrade these troops. Infantry tech. Better supplies. Alright, so I mean, these guys are gonna die. They're at 2, right? Oh, I can reinforce them, so they might survive. Alright, so Austro-Hungarian morale's down to 6%. I assume they surrender when they get to 0, right? Alright, let's operate these French. I can't operate them? They're not on a rail line. Damn it. I was going to say, bring these French troops up. Alright, let's do this. Two... Alright, so we're doing damage to the Austrians. It's impacting the morale, but they're not dropping as quickly as I would like. Still, some progress is being made. Let's upgrade these guys. These guys need reinforcements and upgrades, but I'll do the reinforcements can occur anytime they're not on, anytime, even if they're on the front line. The upgrades can't. Okay. All these guys are already upgraded. Most of them, anyway. So actually, the Austro-Hungarians now have infantry tech level 1, by the looks of it. It looks like Premzel, the core there, is upgraded. So just as we got it, they got it too, which kind of sucks. Okay. Meanwhile, in Egypt, upgrade that British unit. Upgrade all these detachments that I can. Ottoman morale, meanwhile, fell to 74%. Gonna try and move these guys up to Aquibia, or however you pronounce that. Upgrade these engineers too. The Greeks must not be at war with the Ottomans. That must be the deal. They're like technically in the Entente, but they're not really at war. Or something to that effect. Okay. So what's the Austro-Hungarian strength now? So they got a big boost. They're up to 31 units now. Which is kind of annoying. I need artillery to deal with Premzel for sure. I mean, really, I need to cut their supply. I could move in between them, and if I could take Tarnow. Undo that. pulling these guys back so I can upgrade them next turn. I don't really know. I mean, I could try and bring... I don't know. Alright, well, I guess that won't really change anything dramatically then on the Eastern Front. The Russians still have 176. We'll, I guess, spend that on some reinforcements for these air units. Okay. Yeah, let's just set the reinforcement tool. Okay, so the Russians still have 56. What can they do with that? Not much. Logistics, I guess, which is important for Russia, so we'll do that. Alright, so that's the Russian front. What about... Is there anything I can destroy here on the... So it looks like the German fleet may have pulled back from the northern blockade line. Not that I want to open all these ships up to submarine attack or anything. Move these guys down to ports where they're a little bit safer. Okay, so... For the British, I suppose, now we need to start upgrading their weaponry as well. So that's kind of all the... We got all the guys we could right away. We can really move into the Liege fort? Okay, do it. So they're immediately in the Liege fort now. What's the supply situation look like there? I mean, they've got great supply. Okay. Move these guys against these Germans. Finish off that German corps. Attack that German artillery. Can we dig these guys in? We can, rather than attack. Oh, I didn't even look at that. Holy shit. Taking the Liege fort, and with these other units in place, the enemy force should be completely cut. Well, I don't know. They may still be able to move supplies through the Netherlands, given their diplomatic relationship isn't terrible with them. I'm not sure if these guys will all be cut off or not. But they might be. Antwerp is a capital. They probably are able to move some supplies in by sea. I guess we'll have to see. Once more into the breach, my friends. Let's reinforce these boys. Push as many troops through as we can. Get some fighters up there for some protection. In any event, we've split the German line in two pretty well. All we get is 4 for that? Huh. Well, I guess we can pull these guys back and just shift the whole line left. Okay. I mean, if the Italians aren't showing any indication that they're going to change sides, then I'm just going to bring some of these troops north to support this breakthrough. I haven't seen anything about... I mean, it did tell me Churchill was fighting on the Western Front, but I haven't seen anything about, like, specifically some kind of unit I can use with him. Okay. So we're back on the blockade line. German national morale actually went up a little bit because of their unrestricted submarine warfare use, I guess. The French still have 182. So what are they going to do with their money? Could do more production technology, but I think we're going to do artillery weapons. Oh, no, I can't. I can't fund more. No more fun! All right. Well, in that case, you might as well reinforce your fleet, huh? Okay. I'm curious to see if they keep going on the offensive in the east. Austria-Hungary's morale is at 3%. They really need to destroy some units to try and boost that up. But I guess we'll see what comes with the next turn. The Wallow Bear, thank you very much for... Or Willow Bear, thank you very much for the follow. So let's end this turn. Move forward to the next. German morale is boosted by unrestricted submarine warfare. Currently, the UK can only send supplies to Archangels, and access this port is not possible year-round. Recommended that we develop a new port at Kola Bay in the Barents Sea. This port will be available for us to use year-round, thus enabling the British to keep a steadier flow of supplies. However, the railway between there and Petrograd needs completing, and infrastructure will need to be developed at the port so goods can be unloaded there. Doing this will cost us 25 MPPs, and it's hoped the work will be completed in the summer of 1916. Sure. Sounds like a good deal. USA continues to protest the use of unrestricted submarine warfare. They're now up to 27% mobilized, so they are swinging toward our favor. Their income is gradually going to increase as they become more mobilized. Disorder in India as the British suppress a nationalist uprising in Calcutta. Infantry warfare level 2 for France. That should help us in our drive against the Germans. Well, thanks for the follow, Willow Bear. Glad you enjoy the content. All right, let's see what the Austrians do. All right, so they're going to keep attacking that British cavalry in the Balkans. I'm really hoping, and I don't know that this is true, but I'm hoping that when their morale gets to 0, they will collapse and surrender. Because it doesn't seem likely that we're, especially with these substantial reinforcements that the Austro-Hungarians got, I'm not super convinced that we're anywhere near a breakthrough there. And we've got a lot of vulnerable flanks, and if the Bulgarians get involved... Wow, their artillery did some damage. That's the other thing, is I have been woefully underinvesting in artillery. And so that may substantially aid the Axis or the Central Powers in their attempts to break through my lines, because it is a great equalizer. Now the French at least are developing tanks, so in theory that'll help us there. Meanwhile, they've sensed a pocket north, well, not north, but in that section of Austria-Hungary, so they're definitely moving to try and cut our troops off there or just destroy them in battle. Okay. Alright, so the Ottomans are trying to break through in the Sinai again. Meanwhile, the Germans are moving to try and fix the issue in Belgium, or at least stabilize the situation there. Just rush nukes, that's how it works. Not quite, I don't think. We're into 1916, by the way. Happy New Year's, guys. Full-fledged Ottoman attack in the Caucasus. Didn't really go anywhere. In the height of winter, too, huh? You'd think we'd hear something about, like, protests in the Austro-Hungarian Empire if they were about to collapse. Workers in Austria, just as I say that, right? Workers in Austria-Hungary strike for better conditions. Okay. Now it's rainy and muddy again. The number of able-bodied men volunteering for the armed forces is declining, and this could lead to having insufficient troops to replace the losses we expect to suffer in the coming year. It's been suggested that we introduce conscription to wheedle out those who are fit to fight, but who have so far been reluctant to step forward and join the colors. The introduction of conscription will provide us with 3 new infantry corps, though its unpopularity will lead to strikes and will weaken the economy. Honestly, no. I don't think There's a need for conscription in the British Empire right now. Egypt. Serbia has artillery? Hell yeah. Oh, by the way, I didn't think about how bad it's going to be that the enemy has infantry weapon level 1. The Serbian front specifically. It's not good for us. I guess we'll reinforce those troops. What's their morale now? 4%? Alright, reinforce these guys. We're basically spending this turn reinforcing Montenegro and Serbia. They've also developed the more advanced entrenchments, I've noticed. But 1 to 3... Gotta try and drive these guys off my flank. The one thing that's helping us out is that their morale is so low, it's affecting their overall effectiveness. D34, thank you very much for the follow. Appreciate it. Okay. Alright, the morale was at 4, now it's at 2. Got him! Destroyed an enemy corps there. Advance into the gap. They'll get contact, but there's no enemy infantry that can really hurt them. That'll cut one of the rail lines that feeds Premzel. Advance across the line, my boys. All right. So we're advancing a little bit. Their morale is down to 2. Reinforce those troops. All right, I spent all my money in Russia reinforcing this turn. Didn't upgrade anybody. Okay. Right, meanwhile, on the Caucasus front, I didn't even think about that. Fortunately, the enemy didn't do much damage to us there. Alright, let's pull the cavalry back, move the infantry in. Oh my god. We set these guys on transports, and look at this. They've got air power over here for the Ottomans. They've got troops at Beersheba. I'm trying to get these guys into Aquileia so they can take a port, because as I understand it, I mean, what the game basically told me is like, hey, you want supplies, right? So you want to take a rail line. So I'd like to take a port here at Aquileia, but I'm guessing it's a national morale center. It's probably got enemy troops located there. Meanwhile, these guys are going to advance east toward Riyadh and El Quif and maybe link up with the British troops in Iraq. How many troops do the Ottomans have? They've got a lot of troops, 48 units. Okay. What about research for the Serbians? They are working infantry weapons, but they are they're at 97%, so they should get there soon. That'll also be really important for us. All right. Back to the French front. Do these guys lose supply? Doesn't look like it. Looks like they still have supply. Defensive artillery. Let's try and break that line. Destroy that enemy artillery piece. Got him. Alright, so we destroyed an enemy artillery piece in Germany. Those high-price units are always nice to knock off. Meanwhile, they did pull their... It's a weird decision, but the AI is kind of leaving a gap in their line. And they've got some troops that are not dug in. So I plan to exploit that. Destroyed that German corps near Antwerp. Alright, so we've got cavalry. Could we really advance on Koblenz? Charge! Oh, that was dumb. Oh, wait, yes. Advance to Koblenz. I just charged a French cavalry unit deep into Germany and took the National Morale Center in Koblenz. They're going to die for sure, but I'm curious to see how the AI is going to freak out now that we've, rushed into the heart of their industry. The interesting thing is I could... What's the supply situation? It's on a railhead. So they're gonna have supply. I don't like the impact it's gonna have on readiness and morale. But we're gonna try and keep these guys in contact. We're gonna rush troops into that gap. Cavalry actually played a role. Reinforce those troops. Last ever successful cavalry charge? Yeah, probably. Okay. So what is Germany's... Their unit strength is 64. They really haven't lost anything for a while. Okay. So we've got this one, like, dagger deep into German territory. I do wonder, like, is the supply source Antwerp? Is that it? Because if it is, I can throw warships on the port, but... Can we actually destroy an enemy submarine for once? I might cry. I doubt it. I think, well... Get it! That 0 to 0 is sure damn accurate, huh? Alright, so we've actually repaired a good chunk of our fleet. I mean, it's nowhere near what it was at the start of the war, but... Alright, so another British corps is ashore. Bring these air units ashore. Alright, so the national morale hit of losing Koblenz should be nice. I don't know how much it'll hurt them, but they're at 49%, so it's a thing. Meanwhile, Austro-Hungary's at 2%. How much more can they take? 851 of a potential 32,000. So we'll see if Austria-Hungary surrenders in the coming turns, but until then, that's going to be it for this episode. We're about to wrap this turn up, so I'm going to go ahead here and jump in and cut this episode off. I think we got 2 turns in here, so a pretty interesting episode. Austria-Hungary, as I said, is on the brink, and we'll have to see how things play out in the future. Until then, however, this is the Historical Gamer, as always, saying once again, thank you very much for watching, and until next time, I'm out.